This is how she married. Ghost Edeora and Ikena's love story was one whispered in hushed, envious tones throughout the village of Umuoji. Edeora, with a smile as radiant as the morning sun, was known for her kindness and her skill in weaving the most intricate of aquaculture cloths. Ikena, a strong and respected palm wine tapper, was admired for his quiet strength and generosity. Their betrothal was a joyous occasion, a vibrant celebration filled with music, dancing, and the rich aroma of egusi soup and pounded yam. The entire village celebrated with them, eagerly anticipating their wedding day. Edeora, in particular, was giddy with happiness, dreaming of her life with Ikena. She was a picture of perfect serenity as she moved through the preparations, her hands skilled in the art of traditional embroidery and her heart brimming with love. On the eve of the wedding, Edeora's mother, Neka, gave her a simple beaded bracelet. "This," she said, her voice soft, "will protect you, my daughter, always wear it." The wedding day dawned bright and clear, the sun painting the sky in hues of gold and orange. The village square was a kaleidoscope of colors, with men in their traditional Isiago attire and women clad in vibrant wrappers. The air buzzed with anticipation. The rhythmic beat of the drums and the melodic voices of the maidens filled the air. Edeora was a vision, adorned in a beautiful white lace garment with intricate embroidery, her face glowing with happiness. She walked to meet Ikena, who stood tall and handsome, waiting eagerly for her. The ceremony commenced, the elders solemn and wise, their voices weaving in ancient blessings. But as the ceremony reached its most sacred point, a strange chill swept across the square. The joyous atmosphere faltered. The drums seemed to miss a beat, and the voices of the maidens faltered in tune. The air grew heavy and a strange mist began to swirl around Ikena. Edeora watched in horror as Ikena's eyes, once warm and loving, now seemed to glow with an unnatural light. His skin appeared translucent, almost ghostly, and a cold dread filled the space where her love had been only moments ago. The guests whispered in fear as Ikena began to chant in a voice that was not his own, a voice that seemed to echo from another realm. The elders, their faces lined with fear, recognized the signs. They knew that the man standing before Edeora was no longer Ikena, but a malevolent spirit that had somehow assumed his form. This was not a human marriage, it was a violation of the sacred union between realms. Panic ensued. Some ran while others tried to call for help, but it was too late. The ceremony was now a cursed one. Before anyone could react, the spirit wearing Ikena's face spoke again in that haunting voice. It was obvious that he had lured Edeora here for a reason. He spoke of an ancient pact, a dark ritual that required a human bride. Edeora, now bound by the wedding vows, was his chosen sacrifice. The elder in the village, Okeke, with a voice full of concern and fear, tried to intervene, but the spirit was too powerful. With a chilling gesture, the spirit completed the binding ritual, his touch as cold as death itself. There was no going back now. Edeora was now married not to the man she loved but to an ancient malevolent spirit. Edeora's life became a living nightmare. The spirit, still wearing Ikena's form, dragged her to a desolate hut far from the safety of Umuoji, a place where the veil between the living and the dead was thin. There, she was forced to live a life devoid of joy, her days spent catering to the whims of the unholy entity. The once vibrant Edeora grew pale and thin, her laughter silenced, replaced by a deep-seated fear. Neka constantly worried, her heart breaking for her daughter. She visited the location where her daughter was forced to live but was often chased away by the chilling spirit. Edeora felt abandoned and forgotten by her family, who could no longer see her face or reach out to her. All her family could do was cry for her and pray for her rescue, as they were powerless to stop the spirit. One day, as Edeora was weaving, she remembered the bracelet her mother had given her. She had kept it hidden close to her and hadn't used it. In a moment of desperation, she touched it, and a warm feeling rushed through her. Suddenly, she clearly remembered her mother's words, "This will protect you." She began to hear the ancestors calling her. Through their guidance, Edeora was given an idea of how to escape this nightmare. The ancestors instructed her to seek out an ancient herbalist named Ozoemena, who lived deep in the forbidden forest. It was a journey fraught with danger, but Edeora knew it was her only hope. It was a path she had to take if she wanted to leave this nightmare and return to her family. Edeora secretly escaped from the spirit's grasp during the darkest hour of the night, the bracelet still warm against her skin. She navigated through the thick forest, the darkness alive with strange sounds and shadows. She walked and walked with the feeling of the ancestors guiding her. She knew she was close to her destination. After a long and frightening journey, she finally arrived at Ozoemena's hut. The herbalist, old and wise, seemed to sense her arrival even before she knocked. His eyes, though ancient, held a sharp and penetrating gaze as if he knew her plight. He welcomed her in with a silent nod, sensing her troubles. Ozoemena listened as Edeora recounted her harrowing tale. He had heard whispers of such dark unions, but never had he encountered one so fresh. The herbalist explained that the spirit was bound to Edeora through the flawed wedding ritual and the binding chant of the spirit. To break it would require a ritual of great power. He spoke of a rare herb that grew only in the deepest part of the forest, a herb that could sever the ties between the living and the dead. He warned her of the dangers of the journey and the challenges to come. He told her the journey was going to be difficult and dangerous. Ozoemena also revealed that the spirit was only able to lure her in because she was not fully protected by her ancestors. He told her that with her mother's bracelet and his power, she would be able to escape. Ozoemena prepared Edeora for the journey by giving her a protective potion, a special herb for the journey, and a sacred amulet. Edeora, with newfound courage, embarked on the perilous quest, guided by the herbalist's instructions. The forest was alive with spirits, both benevolent and malevolent, and she had to be very careful and wise to avoid them. She faced deadly traps, deceptive shadows, and the constant fear of the spirit finding her. Finally, after many days of hardship, she found the rare herb, glowing with an otherworldly light. She carefully plucked it, its essence tingling in her fingertips. But the power of the herb was not the only important thing on this journey. The amulet Ozoemena had given her was crucial, and she needed to keep it safe. Edeora returned to Ozoemena with the rare herb, exhausted but determined. The herbalist prepared a cleansing ritual, a battle against the darkness that clung to Edeora. The herbs, combined with the chanting of ancient incantations, filled the hut with a powerful energy. The spirit, sensing the threat, tried to force his way into the hut, his ghostly form seething with rage. Edeora, strengthened by the ritual and the bracelet, stood firm. The ritual was long and exhausting, but she did not give up. She knew that if she failed, she would be trapped forever with the wicked spirit. Ozoemena's chanting became stronger and louder. Edeora focused on the words and chants and the energy that was flowing through her. She was finally ready for the final stage. With a final, powerful surge of energy, Ozoemena severed the ties that bound Edeora to the spirit. The ghostly form of Ikena wailed, its hold on the material world weakening. He dissipated into nothingness, leaving behind only a lingering chill in the air. The evil was gone. Edeora was free. She collapsed, exhausted but relieved and happy. She lay for hours, with Ozoemena making sure her energy was restored. With his magic, she regained her strength. Edeora cried tears of joy, knowing that she had escaped the nightmare. She looked at the amulet and the bracelet and was full of gratitude that her mother had given her this gift. Edeora, with Ozoemena's blessing, returned to Umuoji. At first, her family was scared and confused, not believing their eyes. But when they realized it was truly her, they ran to her and embraced her with joy. They celebrated her return with song and dance. They celebrated the end of this tragedy. The village welcomed Edeora back, their hearts filled with relief and joy. The story of her ordeal became a lesson, a cautionary tale whispered from generation to generation. They learned that love should not lead you to darkness but to light. That even in the darkest hours, there is always light and there is always hope. Edeora, though scarred by her experience, emerged stronger and wiser. She became a beacon of strength for her community, a reminder that even the most formidable darkness can be overcome with courage, resilience, and the unwavering support of one's ancestors. And she never took off the bracelet Neke gave her. Edeora's return to Umuoji was not without its challenges. The villagers, though relieved to see her, were wary of the darkness she had faced. Some whispered that she was cursed, while others believed she had been blessed by the ancestors to survive such an ordeal. Edeora, however, remained steadfast. She used her experience to educate the village about the dangers of meddling with spirits and the importance of honoring ancestral traditions. She worked closely with Ozoemena, who had become a trusted mentor, to protect the village from future spiritual threats. Together, they performed rituals to cleanse the village and strengthen its connection to the ancestors. As time passed, Edeora found peace in her new role as a spiritual guide for the village. She continued to weave her akwoka cloths, infusing them with protective charms to safeguard those who wore them. Her story inspired many, and young girls in the village looked up to her as a symbol of strength and resilience. Though she never married again, Edeora found fulfillment in her work and her community. The bracelet Neka had given her remained a constant reminder of her mother's love and the power of ancestral protection. Years later, Edeora's story became a legend in Umuoji. It was told during gatherings and passed down through generations as a cautionary tale and a testament to the strength of the human spirit. The village thrived under her guidance, and the bond between the living and the ancestors grew stronger. Edeora's legacy lived on, not just in the stories but in the hearts of those she had touched. And every year, on the anniversary of her escape, the village held a celebration to honor her courage and the enduring power of hope. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more tales from the heart of Africa. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for watching.